What is the best thing about Governor Scott Walker?
The best thing about Governor Scott Walker is that he comes from Central Casting, which is actually a place in Hollywood.
Yeah.
That's a real place. But he comes from Central Casting.
Yeah.
I mean, he has a compelling life story. He's a Midwestern governor. He had an enormously popular among conservatives fight with unions. A lot of early money has flocked to him. He's a good-looking guy, good-looking family. Just seems like the right type of candidate that Republicans can get behind. Remember, Republicans tend to elect the most electable conservative candidate. It would seem that he fits right in there.
I guess the counter-argument to that might be, well, wasn't that Mitt Romney?
That was Mitt Romney, but the thing that the difference is that people knew something about Mitt Romney. The one thing that people knew about Mitt Romney was that he was an out-of-touch businessman, and Walker doesn't really have that baggage at all. I mean, that's that's to his benefit. I mean, they were right. Romney, superficially, they had the same resume, the similar resume. But Romney had baggage that Scott Walker doesn't have.
Yeah. Do you think some of these things that you're saying are exactly? Do you think some of these things that you're saying are positive attributes for him actually hurt him? Like just the idea that he's just sort of a middle-aged white guy, normal family, et cetera, that kind of thing, it's not what excites people. It doesn't mean you're a bad politician, and maybe the base likes a lot of the union stuff and all that, but just that there doesn't seem to be a lot of an excitement factor with this guy, right?
We've seen with candidate Barack Obama how in the right hands, kind of an unknown, a blank slate, can be the canvas on which a beautiful painting is constructed. So, it could cut either way. The worst thing about Scott Walker is that there is not one thing that people know about him. It's a potential strength, but I think it's his biggest weakness, which is that he is not just an unknown, but what is he? Is he is he a union? The guy who busted the state employees unions? Is he the evangelical? Who is he? What is he?
In a way, is that the best thing that a candidate could have? Because then it's like, as the primaries go along, it's like you get to define yourself
in the hands of a talented team of advisors, and in the mind of someone with natural political skills. Yes, but Scott Walker's political skills very, very rusty. He's had a very rough going anytime he's sort of interacted with the media, to the point where all he complains about now is, well, you can't ask me that question. Why are you asking me that question? Every question is on the table. The earlier you start complaining about the questions that the media, and I know Republicans do it to gain people's dislike of the media, but you can't do that. You got to figure out a way to answer questions. Newt Gingrich can do it. Newt Gingrich.
Yeah.
Scott Walker needs to study Newt Gingrich. He needs to study the way he talked, the way he listened to people, his answers, and he needs to emulate Newt Gingrich. I think the other perception about Scott Walker that kind of goes with that, and this is the biggest potential problem. He is not a dumb guy, but you make a certain number of mistakes that individually we would all do in different ways. They add up to a perception, and if that becomes the perception that he's kind of dull, that he's like the Rick Perry of this race.
I was going to say the Dan Quayle.
But more Rick Perry, like a guy who's pretty good at being governor, but boy, you subject him to any sort of national security question, and it's just like you're asking the same thing of a 3-year-old. Can't have that be the one thing that people know about you. So he has to get up to. He's been studying. He spent a lot of time. I don't understand this. If your candidate is studying issues, you don't tell people that your candidate is studying issues.
Yeah, he's brushing up at night.
Right? No. You show him conversing. You keep him away from the press and let him study, but don't tell people you're studying. So the people around. I don't know. I'm not too impressed by the quality of people that he has giving him advice these days.
Yeah, you got to fake it till you make it, right?
Right. You don't tell people you're faking it. Hi, I'm faking this now. I'll be making it soon. Is that how it works?
That's not how it works. I thought that's how it works. I guess
it works in my business, but I don't think it works in.
You're not running for elected office, unless maybe you are. I don't know. Anyway, Scott Walker, what do you think is the idea that people don't know that much about him? Can that be used to his advantage, or is it a disadvantage? And does he have the right people around him to sort of shape that image? Let us know your thoughts in the comments right down below.